All right, so here we are, we're downtown. It's a little bit chilly, very overcast. It's probably gonna rain. But let's see what we can get. I think this is a cool There's probably not going to be a lot of people out today. I prefer photographing people, not objects or places. Portraiture is what I enjoy doing the most. But if we have to shoot the scenery, then we will make do. This is a cool old building right here, the old oyster bar. Let's see if I can get over there. Man, I gotta get down there. We're gonna have to hop. A little bit of a drop here. Ah. One thing that's nice about Salt Lake right now is all the cherry blossoms are in full bloom. It's really nice. I will say that this city has kind of turned to shit. So over the last few years, it seems that it's hasn't been as well maintained as in the past. More pollution. You got these electric bikes constantly sitting around on the street. These scooters. That one's spray painted. All right. This is kind of a cool shot of this old building. Man, downtown is dead. Typically on a Saturday, there's people out and about, cars here and there. Let's see if there's any cool dolls or old knickknacks here. Hoping to find some interesting characters. Potentially do some street portraits. Look at this. I don't know if this is going to show up in the picture. So ideally, what I want to do is when it gets warmer, I want to take my Action, and which I'm shooting on right now, the DJI Osmo Action 4. Take it to events, outdoor festivals, music concerts, motorcycle events, and I want to try to live vlog. And definitely the warm weather brings out a lot more people, and that's a given. But with that, there's more opportunities for portraits, candids, the type of photography that I really enjoy. You know, because I'm not really a street photographer, I have a photographer's eye, but I look for characters. And I need to train myself to look for shapes. Obviously, it's overcast, there's no shadows. Light is pretty diffused overall. But I could be looking for shapes. I could be looking for interesting graffiti. I could be looking for interesting architecture. And I may be overlooking a lot of great frames here. And that's why I'm doing this, because I want to get better at spotting interesting objects, interesting scenes, interesting angles. Fuck the cum. Alright, I gotta get a picture of this. Little dog out here. It's a badass chocolate. Good. Is that your bike?
No, it's Ron inside.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, custom, 100%.
What engine is in it?
I fucking couldn't tell you. It's a Frankenstein, dude. I don't know what the fuck it's doing.
Yeah, it looks like a mishmash. It's a lot of
That's Ron Dog special, dude. It's fucking cool.
Did he build that?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome.
It's all him. I think it's a Rolla frame. Do you know what motor he has in there?
Sporty. 97 Sporty.
97 Sporty?
Yeah.
In a Frankenstein frame and
Yeah.
raked out.
Yeah, it's cool.
The narrow handlebars. I like that sissy bar.
It's the Ron Dog special.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that was a pretty sweet bike. I'd love to have a space, you know, a garage or some type of a workspace so I could put together a bike like that. You've probably seen in some of my other videos, I have a Triumph Rocket 3. It's 2018. Looks like there's some commotion over here. Looks like we have a homeless person over here not feeling well. I think I'm going to avoid that. Yeah, let's just avoid a potentially messy situation. What's in here? Shooting in RAW, of course. Got the Sony A7iii, 24 megapixel full frame. Got the 50mm 1.8. I like to shoot in aperture priority, especially when it's daylight like this. I don't have to worry about shutter speed or ISO. I know it's going to default to the lowest possible values and with the highest frame rate possible. I'm not worried about blurry pics, but unless I wanted some type of an effect, then I'd switch over to shutter priority or go full manual. Just when I run and gun, I just like to be able to point and shoot and not fiddle with my settings. This guy's making some food. I'm gonna head back. See what I mean? Like, it's just like 3 blocks here and maybe about 4 blocks. Outside of that, it's all flat. Salt Lake City is extremely small. I would love to fly to a bigger city, like a New York City, do some street photography there. The scene is popping off, always has been. I might just book a flight there and check it out. So this is like the busy block right here.
Just go, put it under the bar. Yeah.
Set them on the front counter right behind the business card.
I don't get approached that often when I come downtown. I'm a bigger guy. I mean, I'm 6'3", 230. I'm not yoked by any means, but I guess I might come off as more unapproachable, more intimidating. I don't know. Sometimes I wish people would approach more often. So I'm so damn shy. It's hard for me to like go up to someone and say, "Hey, you look interesting. Can I take your portrait?" That's something that I want to get better at. There's a few photographers that I follow, like DG Photoholic. There's a guy up in, I think it's Seattle or Portland, Pale Blue Wave. These guys are street portraiture specialists. They're able to approach people and just so genuine and so kind and so, I don't know, friendly in their approach. People agree to have their portraits taken, and they film the entire interaction on their GoPro or what have you, and then post the shots, and they're fantastic. And it's not like I want to mimic that, but I think it would be fun to have that ability to just approach people cold and be like, "Hey, I'd like to have your portrait taken. You have a great look. You're interesting. Here's what I do." Show them, my portfolio. I'm originally from New York. Lived here though most of my life, but been to New York City numerous times, and it's so huge. The buildings are, the wall. It's like walking through a canyon, and that canyon is composed of high-rise buildings, and they provide continuous shade. But when the sun peeks through, there's really great opportunities to play with light. And I suppose you can find that anywhere, obviously. But the thing about Salt Lake is there are a few tall buildings here and there, but they're spaced out, if that makes any sense. Bro's having a little rave right there in his car. So maybe I got one good frame out of that. There's a street photographer. Well, there's several that I really like. Billy D's, Trevor Weisskopf. A lot of these guys are out there hitting the street every day, day in and day out. But there's one who is really, I'm impressed with their work, and I'll go ahead and provide a link to his YouTube channel out of Turkey. Well, he does a lot of shooting in Turkey. I think that's his home base. His name is Eduardo, I believe. And bro is fantastic. What's up? And one thing that, studying his body of work and watching his videos and his breakdowns, he was very into foreground, background, midground layering. And so you have to place yourself at the right place at the right time to find various layers, like this group of people here.
Yeah, like West North is less surprising than
If I were to snap a picture, I would want someone in the background as well, and then maybe something behind that person. I'm not accustomed to talking to myself when I walk around and do this. One thing I'm kind of uncomfortable with is taking pictures of children, unless it's a portrait, unless they're aware. It's only because I have a daughter. I don't know how I would feel if some stranger approached her with a camera and took a picture, not knowing that they're a photographer and not some creeper who's going to use those images for nefarious purposes. There's a lot of people down here. Again, I'm hesitant to just take out my camera and start taking pictures.
I have 2 here and 2.
So I thought I'd switch to a different point of view here. It's gonna rain momentarily. By the way, I'm shooting on the DJI Osmo Action 4, using it as a vlogging camera. I'm excited to see how the images turn out. Currently I'm just shooting in auto, full auto. But eventually, as soon as I get my ND filters, I'm going to shoot on manual, kind of toggle the settings. Just kind of want to get a feel for what it looks like just in full auto. And I'm more or less comparing it to my GoPro Hero 8, which I previously had. And that's my baseline. I'm going to compare the footage just in full auto, which is how I used to shoot that camera. But I think this would be a really good vlogging camera. I've seen a lot of reviews about this camera, and this is the one I'm going to take on trips, point of view footage, vlogging footage, because my emphasis obviously isn't, I'm not a vlogger, I'm not a video content creator, I'm a photographer, but I am fascinated, I do geek out on various pieces of tech, and it's always fun to try to learn how to use it, potentially master it. So stay tuned. We're going to do more DJI Osmo Action 4 videos, possibly a review. And if I get good enough and I feel qualified enough, perhaps a tutorial. Anyhow, spin it around. I did shoot some footage previously with this camera, the Action 4, on my motorcycle, and I thought it turned out really nice. Full 4K. I did shoot in the log profile for that one, just to see what the color grading would be like. And there's a party going on in here. I think it's a drag show. Huh. Let's see what this is about. The convention center. Get a feel for some of the science. Try or do, tomato or tomato, work and play, could, should, sow and reap. I don't understand what a lot of these are. The thing about the "You Are Here" sign, it's not actually legible unless you are standing directly in front of it. You are hella. So we're nearing the end of our photography walk. And even though I didn't get any good frames, well, I guess we'll find out, right? You never really know until you get home and enlarge them on the computer and play with cropping. But although I feel like I didn't get any good frames, it was a really nice walk. You know, it's nice to get out and get some steps in, get some fresh air. Although I wouldn't consider Salt Lake air the cleanest, it's better than staying cooped up in the house. And bet your ass when it gets warmer, I'm going to be down here. I'm going to try to get some photographer friends to join me. I think it would be more fun if we're kind of pushing each other creatively, bouncing ideas off of each other, sharing different frames, different perspectives that we captured, even though we were on the same walk together. I think that would be pretty badass. If you're a Salt Lake based photographer and you want to join me on a photography session, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. I know you're out there somewhere. But anyhow, we're about to head back and check out what we got. Oh, I'd also got a few shots while the action camera wasn't recording. I don't know if they were any good, but I will share those if they are. Anyhow, we'll see you guys later.